The narrative folklore of the Appalachians, documented as early as the 18th century, became by the beginning of the 21st a major emblem of cultural self-identification and the subject of study by folklorists worldwide. Various Native American and European American storytelling traditions flourish in the region, but by far the most celebrated and stereotyped folk narratives are certain British American genres of the Southern Appalachians. Appalachia is famous for its long, multi-episodic narratives in which, characteristically, a single hero or heroine uses cunning and magical help to defeat a supernatural opponent by winning wealth or a mate and coming of age in the process. Before Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, the towns in the South had their own heroes. Heroes who could work faster than machines, slay dragons, defeat giants, and kill bears using only their bare hands. Some of these stories were brought to the mountains by settlers, and others were actual men that lived in the area, but their stories grew into legend over time. These stories started being told at family gatherings and to children at bedtime, and with each telling, the stories continued to grow. Tall tales, fictional narratives masquerading as accounts of true occurrences were generally told by and to males, often in first person, and sometimes were attached to well-known regional figures and local heroes, whether they were real or fictional, and were known only in the confines of the community. The communities would listen to these stories at gatherings and local functions. The legends were told as if they were true stories, such as the stories of John Henry, Jack the Giant Slayer, and Davy Crockett. John Henry, an African-American steel-driven man who helped build the Big Bend Tunnel, as well as the Ohio Railway in the West Virginia area during the 1870s. He was a blue-collar worker who took pride in his work and became legendary. John was known as the best hammer swinger of his time and was challenged by the railroad company to compete against a new steam drill to see if a machine could defeat his prowess. John won the contest but died of exhaustion at the finish line. As the legend grew, so did John's stature. Some stories state that he was over 8 feet tall and started working on the railways at the age of 3 years old. The story's lesson to its listeners addressed the growing dangers of industrialization and celebrated the strength of humans. John Henry is still celebrated in his home state of West Virginia, where his defeat of the steam drill inspired the state's motto that says, "Mountaineers are always free." In the tales of Jack the Giant Slayer, Jack is a well-rounded and self-reliant character who always wins, symbolizing the rewards of strong work ethic and individuality. The most popular Jack tales are that of the Beanstalk and his slaying the giant. These tales were brought to the Appalachian region by English immigrants and is said to echo the classic tale of Beowulf. In Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack is a young boy living with his mother, with their main resource being a family cow. A man offers Jack 3 magical beans for the cow, and Jack accepts. His mother is furious with the bargain and throws the beans out the window and sends Jack to bed without supper. During the night, the beans grow into a magical beanstalk. Jack climbs the beanstalk to discover the home of a giant. He steals the giant's riches and chops the beanstalk down while the giant pursues him, slaying the giant in the process. Jack is a self-sufficient hero in charge of his own destiny, fulfilling the American myth of a self-made man. Jack's tales are still being told today, and some have even been adapted into film. The best-known Appalachian tall tale hero is Davy Crockett, also known as King of the Wild Frontier. Crockett is said to have opened the Appalachian region to the west. He was first a politician with great storytelling skills. This served as a great advantage to him in winning over voters. As time went on, the stories of Crockett continued to grow. He could do the impossible with a hunting rifle and a knife. It was even told that he killed a bear using nothing but his bare hands. He is best known for saving the world by standing atop the Allegheny Mountains and tearing the tail off of Halley's Comet as it passed. By the 21st century, Crockett had become known as the backwoods superhero. All of these stories include the idea of the American dream, that hard work and determination can make anything possible. These legends became heroes to the children of the Appalachian regions, who would then pass along the stories to their children. In the later years, people became more and more skeptical to the authenticity of the stories, but continued to share them for the purposes of entertainment and using the stories to celebrate their lifestyle and culture. It is legend that if a person were to listen carefully today, They could still hear these tales throughout the Appalachian Mountains.